All right. So last Saturday, I took a trip, and Google is a little bit scary. Like, it's tracking my location. I'm giving it that my location at all times. I'm taking pictures, so they know exactly where I am. So this is kind of a roadmap of where I went, and the route I took is kind of a really strange, elongated number eight, I guess, or an infinity sign that's really squashed on the left hand side. Um, but yeah, this is a trip I've been meaning to do for a little while now. And I took a lot of pictures. I actually recorded some like cringy like in the car. Well, they're maybe not that cringy, but it was just inconsistent about when I was doing them. I was supposed to like leave every single place with it on, and I wasn't doing that, so I just figured I'll just go and do like a voiceover and kind of just talk over the trip. So woke up at about 3:30. Had breakfast. I'd packed the day before. I had 4 bags. There's the camel pack, which I actually forgot at the apartment. My volleyball bag, just in case. I had like an extra couple things in there, like the beach towel. Backpack, which had my work laptop because I did I did work the first place we stopped off at. My drawing stuff, and an extra pair of clothes. I brought one of my shopping bags, which had all the food in it. I brought some, the big thing was stainless steel, not Tupperware, but container with half a watermelon in there, sandwich meat. I toasted some bread and stuck it in Tupperwares to kind of like try and preserve it a little bit better because bread does soak up moisture. But I don't know. It was kind of by the time I pulled it out, it was kind of just bread, you know. So woke up at 3:30. We left the house, the apartment at about 4. I did take Roxy with me the entire way. I think she would have preferred that to me leaving her alone for just about 24 hours, 20 hours. I think it would have been, I guess, because I got back at midnight, just after. And yeah, so we started there at home. I've censored out the exact address just in case. And I kind of drove up to Lake Huron. There was a state park. The name's going to be up on the screen, probably the location, but it was actually closed when I got there. So we kind of arrived before the sunrise. Um, but it was closed because it's a state park. So we went up the road just a little bit to Birchville Township Park, and it has this little like side area that kind of overlooked the beach, or overlooked like a little beach and the lake. So went there, saw the sunrise um, over Lake Huron. It's really nice, refreshing. I've found out Roxy really does not like water. She doesn't like the sprinklers at home, so she didn't she didn't want to go and play in the lake. Which is, you know what? I'm kind of okay with that. I'm kind of okay with her not like just swimming out willy nilly. But yeah, there's a video I took of her being a little bit skittish in the water. After that, I was really boring. I just went over to a bench at the park. I whipped out my work laptop and I worked for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, just writing up some procedures that I'm working on. A couple people walked by with dogs. Dog said hi to Roxy, and it was generally okay. Roxy was a little nervous at first, but she got over that, and she was pretty okay with them. I had her off leash for a little bit, but not too long. We did take a couple laps around the park as well. So about 8:10, 8:15, we leave, and I'm thinking I'm heading all the way to Flint. Um, because I left the camel pack at home, um, I did not have Roxy's long leash or her like collapsible like water bowl, and I really wanted to have that. So, and then I also kind of ran out of doggy bags. I always have a spare on Roxy's harness. I thought the roll that I had brought was more than just the single poop bag, and it was not. So I was just like, okay, I want to get more poop bags just in case. So we were driving to Flint, and I felt myself nodding off a little bit. There were a couple times where I was, I would close my eyes and then I would snap back up. I was like, okay, I I'm a little bit sleepier than I expected to be. That's what happens when you don't drink any caffeinated drinks in the morning. So we stopped off at this Kroger on the way. I went to pick up poop bags. I used the bathroom, and then Roxy and I kind of just napped for 20 minutes, 30 minutes about. Then we headed off to Flint. There was a Petco there that I stopped off at to get a replacement water bowl. So now we just have two collapsible bowls, which is fine. One for water, one for food. It kind of works out. I'm not, I'm not like, oh, really regretting that purchase. And then we went to Elms Park, ELMS. Elms Park. It was pretty big. I had a nice open grassy area in the back. Like I feel like it could have been used for like a soccer park or something. And then there's a pretty sad volleyball net, and a really big children's play structure that had like it was kind of like fenced in a little bit. Um, Really nice. So I took Roxy off leash. I went and we played fetch a little bit. We tossed the ball maybe 10 times or so to kind of get her some exercise. So I sat down on another park bench there and I scribbled a little bit of artsy stuff, and that was pretty nice. That was nice. From there, drove off to Lansing. We stopped off in East Lansing first. There's this Lake Lansing. At this point, it was kind of raining though, but we went into the park anyway. We ate lunch. We ate lunch while it stopped raining, but it started back up again as we were exploring the actual lake. We were on one of the piers or the dock or something, just kind of looking out over that, and the rain started pouring again. So I was like, okay, let's get back in. Yeah, I didn't really spend a lot of time in Lansing. I drove past the Capitol building, at least, kind of down that road, but we were out of there pretty quickly. I just didn't. I don't know. I wasn't looking to really spend a lot of time there. Um, so we made it out to Grand Rapids. Was our next stop, and there's this big uh, Reeds Lake, Reeds Lake, Reeds Lake. Very very nice lake. It's like a 4.5 mile walk around the outside of it. They have like this sort of sectioned off walk, and we just walked it. There's a park kind of on the way as well that I stopped off at. There was like public bathrooms there, water refill. There are a lot of people playing volleyball there. There were volleyball nets at a lot of places, which is good. Good. I like volleyball. So this park was called the Manhattan Recreation Area. There's like a party going on under one of the covered areas, and a bunch of people playing volleyball. They were playing like 9v9 though. They were like filling out the volleyball courts. Took Roxy off a leash a little bit, played a little bit more fetch with her. Probably shouldn't have, because by that point we were already like a mile and a half into the walk around the lake, and we still had a lot more to go. So, but we made it. There's a little bit of swampy area, I guess. I got a couple pictures of. But yeah, we made it around the lake, and it was nice. If I lived there, I would probably be going on that, once a week, around the block once a week. It was just very nice. It was all sidewalked off and everything, so it was just a very nice area. After that walk, it was maybe 4 o'clock, 4:30. So kind of drove out a little bit farther west in Grand Rapids, um, to another sort of watery area. It's not the right term for it. There's a park called Millennium Park, and it kind of goes up against Millennium Park Lake. Okay, I did not realize that's what it was called. Um, so drove over there. There's another big grassy area. There was a beach here with sand volleyball courts there, but they don't let dogs out onto the beach, and yeah. So unfortunately, we just kind of stayed on the side of the park without the volleyball nets. But I really do want to come back here and maybe play because it was right there on the beach, right next to the lake. You had people kind of scooting about on like paddle boats and stuff in the lake, which was really nice. We kind of took a nap by this rocky area that I'm probably showing right now. You can kind of see the beach in the background as well, where they were playing. I took a nap for like another 20 minutes, and then we got up, went to a covered area. Went to a covered area, and Roxy and I kind of chilled again. I whipped out my drawing things again, and Roxy kind of just lay in the shade. It was on the concrete, so she probably wasn't the most comfortable thing in the world, but by this point, like, she was tired. This is the most sort of like outdoor time that she had had, and any non-outdoor time she had, she was standing up in the car, because she usually doesn't like the car rides. She usually tries to I don't want to say brace herself against the back seat, but that's kind of what she likes doing. It makes her feel a little bit safer. From there, I went and picked up my dinner. Had some points left over at Tropical Smoothie Cafe, so I got quite a lot of it for free. We drove down, so yeah, I got ordered to pick up from there, and went down to this Buck Creek Park or something like that. And just kind of sat beside the tennis courts there and ate. Um, a lot of ants. That's what I noticed there. Roxy at this point had not touched any kibble all day, like not even in the morning. So I don't know if she just wasn't feeling hungry, but um, yeah, she just did not eat. From there, took another drive out to Grand Haven. Now this was sort of the big destination of the trip. Um, I really wanted for a while to head out here because they have really good volleyball courts here. Um, like they have like 12 or so altogether right there on the beach of the lake. Um, and yeah, real nice. But on the drive to Grand Haven, once again, I was kind of nodding off. There's this like one really long stretch of road that's just straight, but even there, it was just feeling unsafe for me. So it was around about uh, 8 o'clock, I think, once we hit Grand Haven. Let's see, yeah, 8:12 is when Google says I was there. So the sun wasn't really setting. I knew the sun was setting at 9:30, at about 9:30, 9:25. So and Roxy again wasn't allowed on this beach. So kind of went back to the car and we took another nap. Both of us. She was lying down. By this time, Roxy was so tired, like she was just lying down in the bed, in the back of the car. Even when I was driving, like I said, usually she kind of stands up and leans against the back seat for support. No, she was done, just standing on her feet. She wanted to lie down and rest. I don't blame her. It's the most exercise she's probably had ever with me. But yeah, woke back up just to see the sunset. That was kind of the purpose of this entire trip. I wanted to go and see the sunrise on the east coast of Michigan and see the sunset on the west coast of Michigan in the same day. Kind of chase the sun across the state. From there, it was just a drive back home, and honestly, this got a little bit dangerous. It's a 2.5 hour drive. Kind of left Grand Haven at 9:30, so kind of expected to be back at about midnight. But I was nodding off, and when I was like, okay, I kind of want to stop at the rest stop, maybe get some like sugary drink to like keep me up. the rest stop that I was planning on stopping off at was closed. There's this little sketchy part where I kind of relied on the rumble strips to keep me on the road, so or to get me back up so I was still on the road. So yeah, a little bit sketch, but we made it back at about midnight. I'd ordered a bunch of stuff on Amazon, kind of willy nilly on Monday, and that was all on my doorstep. I had to go drag that all in, and yeah. But that was Saturday, the Saturday the 8th of July. It's the first time I've really done a trip like this, kind of exploring the state of Michigan. Ever since I've gotten here, I've kind of stayed like within this Ann Arbor, Detroit area. Besides needing to, well, yeah, besides driving out west to Chicago, but that's a little bit of a different sort of trip, right? It's not really stopping off in Michigan at all. It's which this was, and I stuck to public parks really as my main attraction, but I think it was nice to kind of see a little bit more of the states, especially see the lakes, because I think the statistic I was given as Michigan is like the state with like the smallest distance to a large body of water out of all the states, because there's so many lakes and rivers and stuff, and it was nice to see those. The weather was the weather cooperated when I needed it to cooperate, and if nothing else, I got some work done on a Saturday. Usually don't work on Saturdays, but got extra work done, made my Monday easier. Yeah. So I'm definitely going back to Grand Haven at some point. Some morning I'm gonna go and drag at least one person out there to go and play doubles volleyball with me, because it was just too beautiful out there. Yeah. All right. I kind of blabbed on almost 20 minutes now. Jeez. Okay. All right. Bye bye.